also discussed about how you were Mumbai's first Nike coach, and you worked along with Apple. In every stage that there has been, you were a main source of information when it came to a subject like kinetic living. What do you think is your take or your approach towards the integration of technology with wellness and health, and with an ideology like kinetic living? In a state where a lot of people are glued to their phones, a lot of people are people who take in the theory, but when it comes to practical and applying and integration, they kind of step back. And what I really was sitting and thinking, this was a question that popped up during our research, which was, we are in a stage and era of convenience. Laziness is increasing because essentially every capital venture is turning out to be, okay, how to make things more convenient. We have stopped stepping out to get our groceries. We have stopped stepping out to get some fresh air. We are majority stuck in our workplaces. Do you think that it's evolving or devolving our state of being, mankind? What is your take on it?
Very interesting, and that's something that's very relevant. First is that let technology not own you, you own the technology. Which is something that we are forgetting in the age of AI, in the age of algorithms, which are created to keep you addicted. And that's what I mentioned earlier about understanding your brain as an organ and how your brain gets affected when you are exposing yourself to certain technologies, when you're exposing yourself to certain softwares, certain apps. I will not name any app right now, right? So that's why I said that once you know how it's affecting you, in a way you get to know how you're being drugged. Only way that you will get out of that addiction of that screen, or be it technology, or being the incessant need to be with your phone, will only happen when you recognize that this is not normal.
Right.
So let's redefine what normal is. For example, when like they say, I'm feeling joint in my pains because of old age, or I can't move because of old age. Now these are normalized symptoms of old age, but actually no. Aging and inflammation are the only aging and I'm going to rephrase that, is that what we are experiencing as aging is just inflammation in our body and lack of movement. The reason their joints are hurting is probably they haven't strengthened their muscles when it was actually required, right? If they're not going to do some kind of strength training, their muscles are going to atrophy. So if you see, we are normalizing a lot of these symptoms. Oh, it's normal for you to doom scroll. No, it's not normal. You need to recognize that what you're normalizing, they're actually symptoms of something way deeper, which if you don't catch now, ultimately it will lead you to depression or anxiety or low self-confidence or procrastination. So that's one at a mindset level, right? Second level is at a practical level. Like I said, check yourself if you are looking at the phone when you're not doing anything. That is the best way of knowing if you're really being mindless about cell phone consumption. So that's a good way of knowing either you are owning the technology or technology is owning you, right? The regards to tech in the health and the wellness space, again, all the data crunching is really good, and you can use, for example, I've used the CGM patch. I use Apple for my workouts, but am I getting obsessed with it is the question. So again, the human intervention will only come by increasing your awareness around your daily practices.
Right.
So if you start combining data with awareness, you are empowering yourself with that technology, right? Like, okay, I'm wearing a sleep ring. So let me go and analyze my data for the last 1 month, make the tweaks, but do I need to go and obsess about that data? Maybe not. Why? Because let's say if I was moving cities, it is natural for me to have a poor sleep on few nights. Now, am I going to hold myself against it? That is the question. So you need a human mind to really have subjectivity into that situation.
Right.
Otherwise, data is very non-subjective, right? So the person who's interpreting that data, that has to be a human.
Right.
And who is going to be the best human once you start working on your self-compassion, your awareness? Where do you want to go? How honest do you want to be with yourself or with your clients? All of that. Right. And lastly, we are all evolving and devolving at the same time. So you choose what you want to focus on. You can choose to say, oh, like I have another 20 years to live, and okay, I've made a lot of mistakes in the last, let's say, 70 years, but I'm going to make the last 20 count. Or you could be like, oh, you know what, 70 years I've just lived just like that, so might as well do. That's a very convenient interpretation.
Right.
That's why I said, how honest are you willing to be with yourself, right? There's a very popular saying, the rate of your growth and the speed of your growth is directly proportional to how honest you're willing to be with yourself.